The meeting to order, the Oldsmar City Council meeting to order this Tuesday, April 7th, 2020 at 7 p.m. Before we begin the meeting, just a couple of items I want to mention for the people we have watching the video. Of course, under executive order and due to COVID-19, we're meeting by video conference call tonight. All votes will be taken by roll call. We provided our citizens with the opportunity to participate in the meeting as they might always by coming to the council chambers where they have the opportunity to participate live in the citizens open forum, and we're practicing safe social distancing there as an extreme. So our assistant city manager is there to assist any citizen who may be there tonight. The second option we provided for our citizens to participate in the citizens open forum is that they have the opportunity to submit a question or a comment rather that will be read into the record by our city clerk. You'll notice that some of our department heads are on the call as well, and they're here to answer any questions that might be germane to a subject that we have come up tonight, or any question that we have that comes up tonight for that matter. Okay, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and move into the agenda. The next item on the agenda is the invocation, which will be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm going to ask our city attorney, Mr. Tom Trask, to take those two agenda items.
Thank you, Mayor. Our Father in heaven, we seek blessings of the tasks before us. Bless our efforts with clear insight, our deliberations with wisdom, our work with clarity and accuracy, and our decisions with impartiality. We gather to make decisions for our community. May we only use our best skills and judgment, keeping ourselves impartial and neutral as we consider the merits of each matter that is placed before us, and always act in accordance with what is in the best interest of the city of Oldsmar and our fellow citizens. This we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tom. The next item on the agenda is the Citizens Open Forum. I will ask our assistant city manager if we have anybody there who wishes to make a comment at our council chambers.
There is no one here.
Thank you. And I will call on our city clerk to read any comments into the record that have been submitted to her.
I have two comments to read into the record. I'm going to go ahead and time myself for 5 minutes. The first one is from John Monser at 42 Robin Terrace. My name is John Monser and I reside at 42 Robin Terrace here in the great city of Oldsmar. With the current coronavirus and the social distancing, I am making my request in writing versus at a town hall meeting. My request is that you look at expanding the dog park in Sheffield Park. Years ago, the park was not utilized by many people and its size was certainly sufficient. However, that has changed considerably. Today, we see many people from the immediate area using the park on a daily basis. It's not uncommon to see 4 to 6 dogs and their owners using the park at one time. Now that more dogs are using the park, it would be a great benefit to the immediate community to explore some limited expansion. I submit by adding a double entry gate in order to keep dogs in the park from getting loose. When a new dog enters would be one addition. Adding fencing would be another. I propose adding a 30-foot to 40-foot section on the north side running towards that parking lot. It would be the same width as the dog park is currently, but it would extend 30 to 40 feet north. Then on the opposite end, the south end, adding another offset section 30 feet south and 30 feet east, and then connecting back to the original fence. At this end, there's a drainage ditch and a spillway. Thus, you would need to offset the fencing to the east to not disturb drainage. This project would basically be adding fencing, and some of the fencing could simply be relocated to save on costs. The sections at each end would need to be removed, could be utilized in the new expansion. No additional benches or other items would be needed, just additional fencing. The support for this expansion is very strong among the people currently using the park, and I have spoken to others in my neighborhood of 626 homes that would like to use it but complain about its current size. And finally, expanding the current area would be good for sanitary reasons. Though dog owners are very good about cleaning up after their pets, you cannot have as many dogs that are currently using the park in one small space and expect it to be sanitary. I thank you for your time and ask that you consider this expansion as it would truly benefit the park and the people using it. John Monser.
Thank you. All right, before you go on to the next one, I'm just going to suggest, I know we got that via email. I'm going to suggest that we refer that to the city manager to have that looked at and investigated and evaluate the need. And maybe we have somebody go out there and take a look at some of the different times just to see how populated it is, and via the city manager come back to us with some ideas as a future agenda item. Okay, everyone
Okay.
agree? That's good. All right, city clerk.
Yes, one more item. Dale Rembuer, 403 Arlington Avenue East. He called earlier today and he requests for virtual council meetings to be live streamed to increase transparency. He says the nuances are lost for those who cannot be present, and so he is requesting live streaming of council meetings. And that's it.
Duly noted. Duly noted. Hopefully we won't have many of these. So, all right. Next item on the agenda is community minutes. City clerk.
Yeah, so 3 items. Who do you call if you see a business not enforcing social distancing? The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office is taking tips, and that number is 727-582-TIPS, 727-582-8477. And did you miss getting a library card? You can still get one. For information on how to get a temporary card for access to amazing databases and online tools, call 813-749-1181, 813-749-1181, which is also a handy number because that's the Oldsmar Assistance Desk if you need to find out more about other resources available to you. And are you missing story time? Watch Mr. Anthony read the best of children's literature. It'll quack you up. Go to the Oldsmar Public Library Facebook page or subscribe to the Oldsmar Public Library YouTube channel. Every Friday is a new story. And now that I've seen Mr. Anthony, I get my own story time. It's really good. So go watch it.
Very good. Story time with Mr. Anthony. All right. Next item on the agenda: approval of addition of new agenda items. We have 3 new items: item 1, 4, and 8. Is there anybody who wishes to pull any of the new agenda items? None. Okay. At this time, the chair would like to approve. Will entertain a motion to approve the agenda items. New agenda items. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Raise your hand. Who motioned?
So move.
Motion moved by Councilmember Saraki, seconded by Vice Mayor Norris. Any discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, roll call.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki,
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Seidel.
Yes,
The motion is approved with 5 votes for and 0 against.
thank you. Next item on the agenda, awards and recognition. We have no items under that category tonight. We'll move on to Community Redevelopment Agency. We have no items under that category tonight. So I'm going to go on to the consent docket, which will be announced by our city clerk.
Item number 1, approve minutes of the March 23rd, 2020 emergency council meeting. Item number 2, approve minutes of the March 24, 2020 canvassing board meeting. And item number 3, approve minutes of the March 24, 2020 city council meeting.
Okay, is there anyone who wishes to pull anything from the consent docket? Sensing none, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent docket as presented. Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
The moves Councilmember Gannon, seconded by Councilmember
Second.
Matt. Any discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor, roll call. Almost.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki,
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Seidel.
Yes.
Motion is approved with 5 votes for and 0 against.
All right. Next item, City of Oldsmar. We'll move right on to City Attorney.
Oh, he's muted.
I'm back now. Item number 4 on your agenda is adopt resolution 2020-10 ratifying executive order 2020-10, which provides for virtual public meetings, declaration of policy and uniform rules of policy during the COVID-19 emergency, and ratifying executive orders 2020-08 and 2020-09. I'm going to go ahead and read that resolution by title only. Resolution 2020-10, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, ratifying Executive Order 2020-10, which provides for virtual public meetings, declaration of policy and uniform rules of procedure during the COVID-19 emergency, ratifying Executive Orders 2020-08 and 2020-09, and providing for an effective date hereof. That was a reading of Resolution 2020-10 by title only.
Thank you, sir. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved. Councilmember Gannon, seconded by Councilmember Saraki. Discussion. Sensing you're ready to vote, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki,
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Seidel.
Yes.
Resolution 2020-10 is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Excuse me. Were you done?
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is city manager, items 5 and 6.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 5 is authorize city manager to reimburse Pinellas County for $27,798.67 for annual ambient water quality monitoring services performed. City of Oldsmar is a co-permittee with Pinellas County for our National Pollution Discharge Elimination System, also known as NPDES, for the Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System MS4 permit. In accordance with these permit requirements, the city was required to monitor the water quality data. Oldsmar entered into an interlocal agreement with Pinellas County to collect and report this data annually on December 10th, 2013, and amended again the interlocal agreement on December 28th, 2017. Each municipality in Pinellas County, besides the city of St. Petersburg, has delegated Pinellas County to collect their water quality data and are billed proportionately according to respective land area. This payment is the reimbursement for services already performed in fiscal year 2019. In the course of my meetings with individual council members, several questions came up regarding the acreage proportion of the total, which I probably started that argument. And the other argument, or the other question raised, was about the agreement to make sure everybody understood it was for stormwater, which was raised several times. I asked our Public Works Director, Nan Bennett, to research both issues because we were not totally comfortable that we had confirmed the acreage the way it was calculated was, in our opinion, appropriate. I'm here to report that she has spent a great deal of time today and could speak to it if council would like, but she is now satisfied that the calculations, which originally had included the preserve, which most of you know is not even totally owned by us, it's actually owned between us and Pinellas County, was in the calculation. And she's convinced now, with spending her time today, that the calculation is proper and the agreement does cover storm sewer. So it is a stormwater related item. So with that in mind, I'd like the council's authorization to approve the payment, which is available in the stormwater fund for $27,798.67. Nan is available if the council would like her to speak to it, but staff recommends approval.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to first get a motion and a second on the floor for discussion, and then certainly any questions that council members may have of Nan, certainly be happy to do that under discussion. All right. Do I have a motion on the floor to approve?
So moved.
I have
Second.
a motion by Vice Mayor Norris and a second by Councilmember Saraki. Discussion. Any questions? Councilmember Knapp.
I just wanted to say that that was good news to hear that the calculation actually pretty much only factored in for the stormwater, area instead of factoring in for space where there's clearly just a natural stormwater system that's in the preserve. So that was really good to hear. Thanks, Al.
Excellent point. Any other discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki,
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Seidel.
Yes.
Item is approved. Motion is approved with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you. Item number 6.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 6 is a purchasing item. Request council approval to waive bid requirements and award the purchase of the 2020 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Crew Cab to Stark Motor Cars LLC, doing business as Duval Chevrolet per the Florida Sheriff Association contract FSA 19-VEH 27.0 on piggyback form 20-007B. Public Works is requesting the purchase of a new vehicle to be assigned by the city engineer position in the Technical Services Division of Public Works. This truck will replace the GMC Envoy Sport Utility Vehicle 418. The new vehicle will be purchased per the terms and conditions of the Florida Sheriff's Association Cooperative Purchasing Program, as I previously mentioned, which is valid through September 30th, year 2020. And the total for this vehicle will be $29,658, which is available in the general fund, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Councilmember Gannon, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice Mayor Norris. Discussion. Seeing none, sensing you're ready to vote, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki,
yes,
Councilmember Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Seidel.
Yes.
Motion is approved with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Okay. Anything else, City Manager?
That's it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. City Clerk.
Nothing but thank you for hanging in with us while we figure out this technology. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate everyone's hard work on it too. All right. Next category, City Council. Item number 7, discuss holding or canceling advisory board meetings scheduled after April 18th, 2020. As you all know, we canceled the meetings up until that time. And certainly we can have discussion about this. What I would suggest, though, since we are meeting again on the 21st, that we have no meeting scheduled between now and our next regular council meeting. The meeting for the Board of Adjustments was canceled because the agenda item was pulled, so we don't have anything between now and then. I will say that on April 27th, which is certainly closely after our meeting on the 21st, 2 weeks from today, the Veterans Advisory Board is scheduled to meet. I did have a conversation today with their chair, with John Ruckert, and talked about the meeting. I would suggest that we wait to take action to the 21st. We'll have more information as it relates to where everything stands. Clearly, the next big item they have before them would be Memorial Day, which would be a month later, just under a month later. I think it's on the 25th of May this year. And so I think as we get to the 21st, we'll know a little bit more about our circumstances and where we are. I also think that if we do have that meeting, and he felt it was a good idea, that we would allow them to meet via Zoom in their committee meeting. It'd be the first meeting that we held that with one of our advisory boards online, whether it's Zoom or some other type of product. But that's my suggestion. I think I don't want to speculate as to what's going to happen that far in advance right now as to whether or not the Memorial Day program will still take place. We'll see. And so with that, I'll open a discussion. Councilmember Gannon.
I'd make a motion to table this item until the April 21st, 2020 council meeting.
Mayor, I'd like to second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki,
Yes,
Councilmember Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Seidel.
Yes.
Item is tabled until the April 21st meeting with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Excellent. Next item on the agenda, item number 8, discuss April 28th, 2020 Council's Annual Planning Conference. Once again, here we are, and still kind of figuring out what the future brings, how soon we get back to normal. It would be my advice that we postpone this and not postpone it in a time-sensitive manner, meaning I would not add it to the next agenda for us to kick it one more time. This way, when it's appropriate, we would bring it back on an agenda item and try to schedule it in. And so that would be my suggestion on item number 8. Any discussion?
I agree.
Very good. Does anybody like to make that in the way of a motion?
I'll make it as a motion. I move to table this until further notice on the coronavirus or
Second.
social distancing.
Very good. I have a motion from the Vice Mayor, second from Councilmember Knapp. Any discussion? Councilmember Gannon.
From the mayor's recommendation a few moments ago, it was my understanding that the better decision would be to postpone it rather than to table it. Did I misunderstand the mayor's recommendation?
No, I don't know that there's a significant difference between the two. I think it's okay to table it indefinitely. So
Okay.
actually, you're probably right. That might, well, it could be removed from the table at any time. So I would leave it at that unless our
What does Tom say?
has a preference.
So the answer is that if you're not setting it for a date certain, we're just going to table it and it'll come back at any time when it's being requested to be brought back.
Thank you.
That'll work.
Understood.
Very good. All right. So we have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, roll call, please. You have to.
Yes. Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki, Councilmember Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Seidel.
Yes.
Item is tabled with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Excellent. Next item on the agenda, item number 9, schedule work session to discuss capital improvement program from fiscal year 20-21 through fiscal year 2025-2026. This would be our long-term capital improvement program. Now, I am going to make a suggestion that we also table this item and we'll bring it back as things become more clear. I would also say it gives us some time to take a look at a few things. And number one, I would comment that, and I had Al look at this today, so we don't have a charter requirement on the capital improvement budget to hold this meeting at all, quite frankly. But I think it's wise for us to have it, but it's not time sensitive right now. It becomes time sensitive when we start to talk about the budget and the requirement to have 2 public hearings. But that really wouldn't take effect with us, that requirement typically until sometime in September. But we will definitely still have our workshops and that type of stuff. But I think it would be wise for us to just hold off on it for now. And quite candidly, I think as it relates to the capital improvement budget, we may be visiting a few different things based on the outcome of the event that we're going through right now, right? So it may change a few priorities here and there, but we're not going to know until this thing is past us. That's my opinion. I'll certainly open it if there's any discussion. Any discussion? So I need a motion to table it until further notice.
So moved.
So moved, Councilmember Gannon.
Second.
Seconded, Councilmember Knapp. All right, any discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki,
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Seidel.
Yes.
Work session scheduling is tabled with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Very good. Thank you. Next item, item number 10, approved tentative agenda for April 21st, 2020. Is there anybody who wishes to pull anything from the tentative agenda? Is there anybody who wishes to add anything to the tentative agenda? The mayor would like to add 2 items for your consideration. Approve appointment of Brian Mahoney as city-appointed trustee to the Firefighters Pension Board, and also add consideration of vacation of unnamed alley located south of Tampa Road, north of Commerce Street, and east of Fairfield. The chair will entertain a motion to approve as amended.
So moved.
So I have a motion by Councilmember Saraki and a second by
Second.
Councilmember Gannon. Okay, any discussion?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
Discussion, that's okay. I said consideration of the vacation of an unnamed,
Oh, vacation. Okay, thank you. I thought you said vacation.
yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
vacation.
vacation. The terminology, it is vacation.
Oh, vacation. So to
Yeah, it's where we
vacate.
vacate a space that is currently either owned by the city, or it might be, I would assume it's an easement, but maybe it is a piece of property around. But this is only for the purpose of putting it on the agenda for discussion at our next meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion? All right, since you're ready to vote, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki,
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Seidel.
Yes.
Tentative agenda is approved as amended with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Very good. Next item on the agenda, city council comments. I'm going to start with Councilmember Gannon.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't really have much. I just, I'm a little heartbroken to put off some of our favorite things, council planning conference and things are, it's necessary though and prudent to make decisions when we have all the information that we need, and we don't yet have that information. So I completely agree and understand. On my mind this week though is just a big thank you to all of the city staff that continue to work so hard during this situation. The library, Susan, I see you right there. You guys have been phenomenal on Facebook. Felicia Donnelly, our assistant city manager, and I know she's not on the call, but our entire marketing team and their consistent messaging on social media, I think is really important when there's not a lot of consistency in the news and statistics and information created. I think we've designed and implemented a plan on how to communicate effectively and efficiently with our residents. I hope they know how to find us, where to find us, and know that we are the source of reliable information. I just want to make sure that city staff knows that that does not go unrecognized. And thank you to our city manager, as always, for coordinating the effort. That's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Saraki.
Thank you, Mayor. I have just a couple items. I want to piggyback off of what Katie Gannon just said. I want to thank the city staff for all their hard work, especially Al. What you have done for the city is absolutely incredible. I want to thank you for your leadership in keeping our city safe. And to all the city employees out there, thank you for all your hard work. On Saturday, I had a major water leak at my house. I had no idea what to do, and our city staff came, and within 2 hours, they had the leak completely fixed. That is a perfect example of how our city leads for helping the citizens of this city. And I just want to say a big thank you to that. Second thing I want to say is I want everyone to know this is the first time I've never wore a tie to the city council meeting.
You didn't wear a tie to the emergency meeting, did you?
I wear a tie all the time, but this is the first time ever.
All right. There's a first for everything.
All right, and then the last thing I want to say is this is a holy week for all of us. This is the first time I won't be with my family for Easter. So to all the people, I just want to say happy Passover and happy Easter to all. I'm praying for all of us to be safe so we can get back to normal. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Knapp.
Thank you, Mayor. Just had to unmute there. I got a couple things as well, not too much. I'd like to echo what Councilmember Gannon and Saraki said about the city staff. The website, with the amount of content that's available on there for people with all the different resources and broken down by city, county, region, state, federal, I think is very impressive and really will help anybody that's out there and stuck in some sort of position. So I think it was a job well done by everyone involved. I actually watched the Mr. Anthony video with my daughter earlier today, and that was a job well done there too. And it just kind of made me think, I wonder if there's any other sort of content that we could develop online, either through the library or through any of the other departments that might be beneficial, and not just through this period of time, but maybe, you know, longer term. So it's just something to think about for those that are on this meeting right now. And then a couple of positive news. The evening report just came out a little bit ago from the state, and there's still only 3 Oldsmar cases right now. So that's good. Things are staying as is. And then, as most of you know, yesterday was my birthday, and we had a little quarantine party out in front of our house in the driveway. So everybody kept their distance, but it was kind of awkward. So I just want to say, for anyone else celebrating birthdays through this time, it's certainly a challenge, but hopefully it's only this year for us and not in the future. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Vice Mayor Norris.
I get unmuted here. Okay, so I'm just gonna say ditto, 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 ditto to what everybody said, because staff is incredible. And to add in there the first responders, you know, Jason, his crew, everybody, and even the store clerks, even the, you know, the delivery drivers, everybody. It's amazing. And I had a long conversation with Liz Hitos, who is Gus Bilirakis' representative, Bilirakis' chief of staff, and she wanted me to convey a couple of things. First, the first thing she did was ask, how is everybody in Oldsmar doing? How are the businesses doing? How are the citizens doing? Is there anything we can do to help? And so we talked for about an hour and a half about a myriad of different things. And she suggested that, or she said that Gus would be willing to have a teleconference, kind of like town hall or individual teleconferences, say with the neighborhood coalition, or say with senior citizens and AARP, or the first responders, or anyone that wants to have a teleconference with the office of Gus Bilirakis. Gus will have it for however long it takes, and he'll answer whatever questions. They're inundated with questions over there right now, but they're doing real well. So if anybody wants to get that message out to any groups, they would be happy to coordinate that. Another thing I wanted to say is, for those businesses out there that want to apply for the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, I successfully did it. It did take a while because they changed the rules in between, and Friday night they changed the rules, so Monday morning there was a different form. But the message to everybody out there that has a small business is, it might take a little bit of patience, but it does work, it is possible. And that's another thing Liz said, that if any business needs help with that, to call their office and they'll help. And even all of the constituents can call the office and they will help, because they're working around the clock. So I thought that was really nice. He also commended the city of Oldsmar for our responses on everything. So Mayor, kudos, because he's keeping up with each town in his district, and he really gives us a lot of applause. The second to last thing is, at our practice meeting, we all sang happy birthday to Councilmember Knapp. So I just want to say happy birthday, Councilmember Knapp. And the whole social distancing thing, the best thing that helps me, I heard somebody say it, is social distancing is the most important thing we can do right now, but not emotional distancing. So every day, call a couple of people, check on a couple of people. Oh, Jerry Beaverland's doing great, by the way. He's doing better than he's done in a long time. For all of you that has asked about him and his lovely wife, Wanda, they're doing wonderful. So just everybody hang in there, and it's good to see everybody's faces. That's it.
Very good. Well, I have a few items. Number one, I just want to touch on a couple of things. Remember, Our staff, along with Feeding Tampa Bay, our city put together the program. We are feeding kids Monday through Friday, 12 to 1 p.m. The child must be 18 years or younger. And if they've been to the facility over at State Street already, they do not then have to be physically there. Parents can pick up the meal for them as long as they're on the roll, got them in the log. So kudos to our staff for their involvement in making that work. They put that program together quick. We're feeding 30 to 50 kids a day. So it's making a difference. So it's important. It's those fundamental, essential things. Of course, the library continues to serve as an outstanding resource. Their efforts are certainly, something that I would not be surprised to see some other cities adapt if they haven't already. But we're quick to do that, and they deserve a lot of credit. The payment protection plan that Vice Mayor spoke about. Once again, I want to just emphasize to all of our businesses who are going through the challenges to make sure they get with their local bank. What I've learned also about the program is most of the banks, while it's not a requirement of the program, most banks, they want to make sure you already have a business account there with them. As kind of criteria they have in terms of who they're really helping put those loans through. So if you have a business, you got to have a business account somewhere. So certainly I would encourage you to get in there. I understand the president is asking for additional funding, another $250 billion. So there's, I know, been some concern I've heard from some entrepreneurs today and yesterday about the possibilities of the fund going dry. I don't think it's likely. Certainly it has to go through Congress, but the bottom line is there is a mechanism being put in place to continue that program and expand it. And of course, the key to it is keeping everybody employed. I know there's a challenge of finding them, finding what to do with them when they're employed. I heard this today from somebody who has 96 employees. And so what I would say to all of our businesses who might find themselves in that situation, maybe it's an excellent time to look at some volunteerism that they can do to help with some of the other efforts going on. There might be that opportunity, keeping in mind, essential travel is all there is, social distancing, that type of stuff. But it might be a good use if you're, focused on entrepreneurship. It certainly would be a feather in the cap of your company. So I would encourage that. One other thing that I thought I'd mention tonight just is for a lot of people, the social distancing, you're at home, you're cooped up. I think it's even harder for people who are home alone and cooped up. For those who might be dealing with some stress and just, a real hard time with it. Remember, there's 211, which is a public service that can provide some help and counseling and get you through this. So don't forget that as a resource. It's certainly something that is important. I'd also suggest that, during these holidays, that we all keep those in our prayers who have tested positive, not only here in our city, but in our community and, of course, in the nation around the world. And, this we'll get through this all, but some people, unfortunately, who lost others, they'll never get through it, right? And so, but I would just mention that staff has been amazing, really has stepped up in every possible way. And, I would say for our, especially our charter officials, and I'm going to kind of scoot Felicia in that because she gets dragged into those meetings all the time. It's finding ways in uncharted waters and trying to do it in collaboration to make sure it's done right and communicated but it's done at lightning speed. So I just couldn't be more grateful to their efforts and their hard work ethic. So that's all I have. Citizens wise, let's remember social distancing. I think it was Vice Mayor Norris maybe who mentioned it, or Councilmember Saraki. We get on a conference call with the county and the medical director for the county. He talks about this all the time. There's not an official cure for COVID-19, There's not a vaccine yet. There's a lot of promising things going on. Of course, we see it and hear about it all the time. But the only tool in our toolkit is social distancing. That's really the only main tool that we have. So I just remind our citizens that it's important. Keep your distance, shelter at home, spend time with your family, Zoom with friends, all the other crazy stuff people are getting creative with. But everybody's doing a great job. And, I think it lends to where we sit in the big picture of things right now. Some of our neighbors are not as fortunate right now. I don't want to assume that that means that we're going to continue to be, but in any event, let's just keep that up and we'll get through it. I'm going to close with a really quick story. I spoke with Doug Campbell today, who I think most of you know. Doug's the president over at Golair Village Homeowners Association. And I was talking to him and I asked him how Golair was doing. Was there anything that they might need from the city? Anything along those lines? And he said, yeah, I know you guys are working with Oldsmar Cares for those who might be in need. And then we know that, we can get food delivered. And he goes, but you know what? Really, I don't think there's anything we need because as a rule, we're all taking care of each other over here. And that's really what we're doing. And it just reminds me once again how we are much more than a city. We are definitely a community. All right. And so keep that in mind. And our city is doing an amazing job and we'll get through that. With get through this. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. The new Councilmember Knapp, seconded by Councilmember Gannon. This requires no discussion. This video conference call council meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good night, y'all.